Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead. I don't know why I said it like that. Today I'm smoking Electric Smokes Liquid Blunt. The Creme Royale. It's really nice. It's uplifting. At least for me, it's uplifting. Tastes a little bit like vanilla. Looks like a blunt. I'll do a review of it on Sunday Strain Review, the playlist on Thoughts Off the Stem, the podcast channel. That's right. Or the podcast channel, the YouTube channel. Jesus, I'm stoned already. Anyway, I hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good week, month, year, the whole deal. Thank you for joining me again. I appreciate it. And I just wanted to ask a quick question. Remember when hip-hop was good? Remember? Do you remember that time? That's right, I said member. Remember that time? That hip-hop was good in the 90s. I know a lot of old heads, like older guys, will sit and say like, well, no, you really got to go back to like the 80s, the 60s, the 70s, or the 70s at least. 70s, 80s. I'm sure you do. But I was introduced to hip-hop, so I do know a little bit about the history. I know, like, I used to work concert security. I worked a lot of concerts. I love hip-hop. It took me a while to get into it. I think I was 12 when I got my first hip-hop tape. That tape was Tone Loc, Funky Cold Medina, and Wild Thing. All that shit. That raspy voice, that got me into it. And then the stories he would tell, I was fucking in. Hip-hop nowadays is just a bunch of fucking mumble, ha, mumble, diamond, mumble, look at my eye, I got diamond, I got rhymes, this is what I do, I get high. Like, come on, man, tell a fucking story, dude. You like that, white guy rapping? That's not good at rap. 43-year-old dad rapping, nothing. Look, I could be a rapper right now. Watch this shit. My chain. I bring the pain. I'm there. Record. Got it. Boom. That to me is what hip-hop is now, or it's what it's turned into. Hip-hop was fucking amazing in the 90s, dude. When I was 12 years old, I think it was like 1993. That was when I got the Tone Loc tape. I really got into hip-hop when I started going to high school. I was playing basketball with a buddy of mine all the time, and he would always play, like, he'd always have his boombox, we'd be playing, and he'd have whatever was on, right? And my first introduction to a full rap album was Tupac's All Eyes on Me. Can't get any better than that as far as I'm concerned. Don't get me wrong, I respect Biggie, I respect all those dudes, but I'm just saying, as an introduction into hip-hop, that's the shit you want to listen to. It tells a story. It's Dr. Dre. He's got, like, the beats are sick as shit. Like, the whole thing was, like, the ideal situation, right? And then on top of that, the problem is, not the problem, I don't know what I'm talking about. Hold on, I gotta slow down a second. Okay, let me take a breath. I'm excited. I'm amped up. Because I feel like, with how bad hip-hop has got, and how easy it's been to, like, produce music, produce anything, really. Like, I do this laptop, oh my god, I do my podcast on this laptop. That's how a lot of these, like, rappers start now. They're sitting in their fucking basement with no money and nowhere to go and nothing to do, and they just start, like, playing with beats. I went through a phase when I was in university being like, I wonder if I could do this. So I bought like a cheap little kid's toy program, started fooling around with it. I can't do it. I suck. I know. It's okay. I'm fine with it. But I respect the art. I love a lot of things about it. Like hip hop, the heavy drums, heavy bass, fucking melody, the ability to tell a story in rhyme is just fascinating to me, man. Like, there's nothing better. The aggressiveness of the music. I played a lot of sports when I was a kid. So like the shit talking that went on albums, that was all. You had everything. You had comedy. You had aggression. You had like beefs with people that like where you would just go back and forth trying, like snapping, right? That's what it was called, I think, back then. When you snap at people, sitting in the schoolyard talking shit, like the back and forth with your mama jokes and all that stuff, like ended up on music. And then when you get it in the club, like fuck, dude, when you're drinking and you're just jamming out to some like Petey Pablo, North Carolina, throw your hands up. You know, like that shit gets you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, like you got, I don't know. It's different, I guess. It's not nearly as good because the storytelling by like 90% of the artists out there now is garbage. All they fucking talk about, it's like most of the artists in hip hop are basically Nickelback. Okay? They don't talk about anything important. They don't talk about any shit. Hip hop evolved from the importance of life and the struggle, right? And then like in the beginning, it was basically about how, you know, black communities were like held down and oppressed and how you could rise up and how you can unify and, you know, fight the man and all that shit. You know, you had fucking KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Molly Mall. Fuck, dude, there were so many people out there that were trying to give you something to think about. They were like, what would be like a good comparison rock wise? You could like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, like they just made you think about shit, right? Whereas like those guys, the early starters of they had some like party songs and stuff, but primarily they were trying to get a message across. Now there's no message. The message is basically like, look at me, look what I do. Everybody pay attention. It's like a bunch of deprived little fucking toddlers running around trying to get attention and wanting to play with big shiny blocks. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of bullshit. In the 90s, even California Love, okay? There was an element of that sort of explained the social climate. Nothing nowadays explains the social climate. They talk about the climate of their nuts. Like, that's fucking it, dude. It's fucking dumb. It makes me stupider listening to it. I'm not saying this is every single artist, but the dominance is that. Whereas I feel like when I was growing up in the 90s, that's when like hip hop was like really blossoming. Like you had a lot of dudes that came into the industry off the backs of guys that told a message or had a message to tell, right? And then these guys expanded on telling that message by adding in like some really good humor, changing the flow. They changed the pattern of the rhyme. They changed the flow of the rhyme. In the beginning, it was very much like kind of how would you explain it? Like in the beginning, it was very like da 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 da, right? And then as the 90s came in and took over and evolved it, it was like it all of a sudden became you know, like just there was like a steady flow to the whole thing. There was no real break or pause or how do you explain it? Like it's almost like in the beginning they elongated the words to fit the bars that they had to fit. Whereas as the 90s came in and as it progressed, that it went from that to seeing like how much can I fit in here so that the flow and the pattern really emphasizes the melody of the song or the beat or whatever. Like there was just everything was succinct. The fucking story, the words were right, the tale was right, it fit the music perfectly. Everything meshed itself together. Like it's almost like everything could have been a hit to a certain extent. You know, whereas nowadays you're lucky if you get like any kind of hit. one hit wonder, that's it, you're in and out, you're gone. You know what I'm saying? So like I really enjoy the fact that some of the old heads that I grew up with are coming back into the industry. And so like I know they're in the industry, but they're kind of like putting their stamp on it, being like, bitch, get to my level. I fucking love that shit. Because when you let the children run the house, the adults at some point have to come back in and be like, you're doing it wrong. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I feel like is happening right now. And in the 90s, dude, the storytelling was the fucking key. If you take anything away from 90s hip hop and you're an artist nowadays and you're trying to make rap or whatever you're trying to make, look at the old shit. Look at what they did. Take some fucking notes and apply that to what you do. You could still talk about your chain. You could talk about your Ferrari. You could talk about the girls you banged, but just also add in a story that makes some fucking sense. Like anybody anybody that I talk to that is like in their 20s, because recently I've been working with, younger people in their 20s and probably mid to late 20s, right? They had no idea about like Slick Rick. Slick Rick, dude, the art of storytelling. Tell the fucking story. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to, the way that you could follow it from start to finish. And it was something that you could like sit and bump your head to. And the shit he was talking about, you're like, yeah, I've done that. Or yeah, I've heard about that. Or yeah, I felt that. I've been in that city. Like, it was just so relatable. Whereas now, it's not really relatable. It's like, here, get what you can attain. And look at me. I've attained it, so love me. That's really all rap is now. So, when guys like Snoop Dogg and Redman put out their albums, Missionary for Snoop Dogg and Muddy Waters 2, I was so fucking happy, dude. Finally, something that like I could at least relate to, in the fact that it was kind of something that I would listen to when I was younger, and it brought me back. It gave me a little bit of nostalgia, but it also sort of showed like the rap game where it should be as opposed to where it is. You know what I'm saying? It was fucking awesome, bro. It was it was the best shit I had seen in a long time. Because honestly, my playlist is nothing but old rap and hip hop. Like, I have I have other playlists as well, but that's primarily what I listen to. So my playlist is populated with like Tribe Called Quest, The Roots, Run DMC, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. There's a little bit of NWA in there. Ice Cube. Who else? Fucking Redman, Method Man, Busta Rhymes. Dude, I love Busta Rhymes. I love what he's doing. I love what Method Man and Redman have to be my two favorite artists, period. Because Redman, that dude, he can change up flows like fucking water. All right? He can be he talks one way for one part of the beat, and then all of a sudden he flips it, and you're like, what the fuck? He can tell you jokes while talking shit, while telling you, like, how bad he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you find me an artist that does that today. Maybe Bad Baby. Bad Baby might be up there. But I'm not that versed in newer artists, because, like, everything that I've heard, and I don't listen to the radio, so it's shit that I look up, right? Or shit that I hear, and I catch a verse of it in another car, and I'm like, what was that? And I go find it. But, like, those old heads, dude, they just do it right. Like I said, Redman is like your complete performer. I think that's my opinion. Like, okay, Method Man, I love Method Man because I love the way that he rhymes, but I also love that voice, dude. That voice is like, I don't know, it just, to me, him and Redman together, they sort of like, they epitomize hip hop to me. They make me go, yep, that's what fucking hip hop is right there. And also, like, I smoke weed, so their songs, a lot of them are about weed, and why wouldn't I? But their duo, like, the way they're dynamic as fuck, bro. They put on a great show. They put on an amazing show, and, like, they don't do... The thing is that in hip-hop, when you do a stage show, you don't, like, there's not... Some guys will have, like, dancers and whatever, but for the most part, it's just a bunch of dudes on stage running around talking. You know what I'm saying? And, like, the way that Redman and Method Man do it, they get the crowd into it. I've been there. I worked security at one of their shows, and I was like front and center on the stage because like my boss knew that they were one of my favorite groups, so that he was like, you could be in there you could be right in the thick of it, so you get the full experience. I was like, thank you, man. And like that entire place was fucking crazy the whole show, and that was back when Blackout came out. That shit was fucking phenomenal, dude. So I always say, like, if you're looking for real hip-hop and you want an artist that's, like, somewhere in between old school and like, new, Method Man and Redman, because they've been so fucking consistent across the board. They're so fucking good. They're so good. Together and apart, they're fucking amazing. But with them with Redman bringing Muddy Waters 2 back, that, to me, emphasizes East Coast hip-hop. It was, that whole album, every single thing on it is fucking 90s all the way, with like a new age spin on it. There's like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. You'd have to go listen to him and you'd have to listen to it. It is so East Coast hip hop to me that like I can't stop playing it. He's got, every song is good. And like what I was saying earlier was that like when I first started listening to rap, right? It was 1995 and or 1996. Whenever All Eyes on Me came out, that's when my buddy who I play basketball with introduced me to it. And I started listening to it. I liked like maybe 2 or 3 songs on that album, right? But as I got older and as I listened and I delved into more different styles of hip hop, like I started to obviously like more and more of it. But there were a lot of rap albums for a long time where you could only really listen to like 2 songs. Unless you were like really, really at the time heavy into the culture and like that was your lifestyle. I could see how you would like the other shit, but sometimes the other shit doesn't relate, right? Because, like I said, it had a message. It was trying to tell you something. It was trying to bring you into the environment of the artist, right? Nowadays, there's no bringing you into the environment. What environment? Oh, I was at a jewelry store. I bought chains and then I waved them in front of bitches' faces and they came home and sucked my dick. Like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why kids care about it because, like, realistically, you can't get that shit. You're lucky to get that shit. What you need to do is learn about shit when you're young. So listening to these guys talking about their fucking chains and their balls and all that crap, don't. Okay? Go to the people that tell you a story. Like, okay, here, this is one of the coolest shit things. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot. I don't know why. This is one of the coolest things that, like, I've ever encountered. So I found out in, like, the late 90s, early 2000s about an artist named Wordsworth. Okay? This guy put out an album called Mirror Music. The whole album was him rapping about stories from the newspaper that he'd read, and then he rewrote the stories in rhyme, and then those were his songs. Dude, that shit was fire. Okay, that was the only. I'm sure he's come out with other stuff, but here's the thing. So this guy wrote that album as an independent artist. He could have, I'm sure, gone, to one of the major labels, but he was so dedicated to the craft of writing the rhyme that he chose to stay independent. Before this album came out, he got I think it was a doctorate in English, and every paper, every exam, everything he wrote was in rhyme. And he graduated with honors, as far as I might be wrong, but I don't think so. Because it was a long time ago when I was like really heavy into looking this guy up. He was from New Jersey, okay? And now motherfucker teaches, I think, at like MIT or Harvard or whatever, some big, smart place university. That's the kind of shit. That's the kind of rapper. That's the kind of artist that you want to listen to. Absorb that motherfucker's knowledge, because that dude is doing shit with this stuff. Redman, Method Man, dude, they just make life good. Okay? I want to hang out with them. I want to be their buddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget the weed smoking thing. Like, that would be great. I would love to smoke a joint with Redman or Method Man. But, like, they just seem like cool dudes. Like, if you saw them on the street and you were like, hey, man, how's it going? They'd be like, hey, man, how's it going? You know what I mean? They just give off that, like, good vibe, that good people vibe, I feel like new artists nowadays, like, if you were to walk by them on the street, they might tell you to fuck off, that kind of shit. I don't know. Their music now is garbage. I'm sorry, but, like, it is. And when Redman came out with Muddy Waters 2, I fucking ran to get that shit. I didn't. I just went to Spotify and went, ba-doop, play. And I played that shit for 2 weeks because the whole thing is fucking awesome. He tells a story. He talks about his environment. He makes some fucking sick-ass car beats. He makes some good, like, club songs. Dude, it's just, like, I don't know. It's the complete package. To me, he came out and was like, hey, rap, this is how you do it. And then did it. That's what I think. I think he blew everyone out of the water. He did that album. I'm sorry, I know I'm totally dick riding right now, but I'm just saying, like, that's the most impressive thing to me since, I don't know, in at least fucking 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to take away from Snoop. I'm just talking specifically in Redman's case as East Coast hip hop, because that's sort of like what I gravitate to. I live near Toronto, so, like, in Canada, so, like, I'm on the East Coast. That just, like, that heavy drum, yeah, so, like, I gravitate to that shit. I love Snoop and Dre. I love that. I love that in my car. But again, there's not like that's West Coast, and I don't relate to everything. You know what I'm saying? So like some of the beats you could tell are definitely like West Coast lowrider out on like, you know, driving by the fucking ocean, get down, bopping your head, just rolling around. You know, I get that. But like I don't do that. I've never experienced that, so I don't relate as well. But like their albums, as different as they are, it's like they fucking took their collective sides of the country and went, hey, rap, guess what this is? It's this. You got to do it this way. And they came and everybody was like, God damn, this shit is good. And like, it sort of brought back, my faith at least, into hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Because my faith in hip hop was lost for a while. Like I told you, my whole playlist was essentially all 90s hip hop or like late 80s. Cause yeah. Oh, this fucking thing plugged up. It plugs up from time to time. I've had it for a little while, this blunt dealy. But also another thing is like these guys are also not like Snoop and Redman. They're not just showing you how to do rap or hip hop right. They're also showing you how to kind of like how to do business right. You know what I'm saying? Like Snoop is the biggest fucking dude in the planet right now. Didn't he open the fucking French Olympics, or at least he was like a torchbearer, something. He did something there, you know? Redman, he started doing this Jackboy beats, so he spent like a year, dude, putting together his own freestyles over top of old beats and like calling out other artists and stuff, like in a fun competitive way, not in a I'm gonna shoot you in the street kind of way, but in a nice fun competitive way. And it brought back a level of interest into hip hop that I don't think has been seen in a while, you know? There it goes. I got it to pop. So like if you're a young up and coming artist, I hear a lot of them talking about, oh, these old guys don't know what the fuck. Like that's a very juvenile way of thinking about things. Which I get it. You're probably a juvenile trying to think about. But like those dudes know what they're fucking doing. Those dudes learn from the dudes before them. I'm sure back then they also had a chip on their shoulder, but they've incorporated over their career the shit that the guys before them told them. Because why? Because you have to. Because you got to be the complete performer, man. I realized that just sounded like I said the complete performer, man, but I meant the complete performer, man. But yeah, you look at Redman, he went to the artistry of it. Right? He went, okay, I'm going to make a fucking impact on hip hop, and this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring back interest slowly, and then bam, I'm going to reel you into my album, which is going to be all that, just that perfect 90s feel, dude, as far as I'm concerned. Every song on there, I've listened to a million fucking times. I love that shit. I love it so much, I told him that on Twitter. I said, thank you for bringing hip hop back. Because, and he liked it. Well, one of his people liked it. But yeah, that's right. I'm bragging a little bit. I think I deserve it from that. I fucking love those dudes, dude. You know, I'll tell you a story, okay? I worked 2 rap concerts, essentially, in my year. I think it was a year. Yeah, about a year of working concert security. I worked the Up in Smoke tour with Eminem, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Dub C, and... who else? I think there was someone else there, but I can't remember. Maybe the Dog Pound? Yeah. But anyway, so that was like a big, huge, massive tour, right? It was in the amphitheater in Toronto. It was outdoors. It was fucking crazy, dude. It was so cool. Like, so these are the differences. Like I told you, a lot of rappers, they come out and they talk and they have like a big group of dudes with them, right? That's what they do. And then their dudes are in the back like, yeah, waving shirts and like whatever. Unimpressive stage show, essentially. Fucking Up in Smoke, they come out driving fucking Cadillac lowriders. They have big skull heads that come down, talk to you. They have like video that plays and then Snoop and Dre walk out. Dude, production, motherfucker. Okay? That was some of the cool. I would put that right up there with like a crazy fucking rock concert. And you know who surprisingly puts on, well, used to anyway, I don't know now, but used to put on Kid Rock. That motherfucker had fireworks, strippers in cages, all kinds of shit. It was entertaining as shit, okay? Snoop and Dre, they took the fucking West Coast rap element and brought it to like, they had shit happening, you know? And then Ice Cube had his DJ up on these big Ice Cube blocks, dude. It was fucking cool as shit. Presentation, motherfucker. So when you're looking at those guys, you could see the level and their understanding of business. Like, now that Snoop has totally evolved into what he has, he's bigger than rap. He's evolved into like an icon, essentially. The guy's done everything. He's written fucking books for kids. He's worked with Martha Stewart and cooked. He raps, you know, he makes music. He's a CEO. He bought Death Row. Like, dude, that motherfucker understands business, okay? And anything he does should really be studied, because like, he's not doing this and like falling ass backwards, I don't think, into luck with this. I think he's doing this and like, they're all calculated decisions. I'm sure it's stuff that he really likes to do and wants to do and is fun and like, he's smart about it, but he's made calculated decisions. It's the same thing that Redman did on this side. He just did it different. He did it more for the art. You know what I mean? And bringing back the attention to the art and showing people how the art is really supposed to be presented, you know? And maybe not presented. Presented isn't the right word, but how that art was like supposed to be conducted. You know what I mean? There's supposed to be a level of intelligence and capability. Whereas now it's just a bunch of people talking about how many fucking bodies they have, what new watch they're wearing, what brand new car they fucking bought. It's bullshit, dude. It's all bullshit. What he's talking about is like real street. Like, when I say street, I don't mean gangster shit, because I don't know. But like, I'm talking about shit that you would do daily, really. You know, like, he talks about fucking just hanging out in Jersey. Talks about the people he met. Stuff like that. There's a story. There's a vibe. There's an effort into it that most people, I don't think, put into it. And the difference, so Snoop and Dre and those guys, they have this big presentation where, you know, there's a lot of it. There's a lot. It's very like precise, very, I don't want to say clean, but like very over the top, right? Whereas when you watch Redman and Method Man, because that's the other concert that I had done, was Redman, Method Man, their Blackout concert. So that was at a smaller club, fit them better. It was the two of them up on stage talking. Sure, they had like people on stage. They didn't have the big like cars rolling out and all that stuff. It was just the two of them doing their thing. But that was so representative of like the beginning of the culture and how rappers would get up and like throw it to the audience, bring it back, and then, you know, keep working between each other, especially a duo like that, like being able to do the call and response, dude, and keep the crowd into it and live, like, buddy, it was crazy. It was crazy. Everybody was singing along with them, was, you know, saying the words, like, yeah, there wasn't a bad vibe in the fucking building. Like, Method Man, he does these like he used to, he does these flips off like the speakers into the crowd and crowd surfs. Like, yeah, they're masters at bringing the audience into the show or the music and making them feel like they're implanted in the middle of it. They're really fucking good at that, dude. 100%. And that's what I love about the fact that Snoop Dogg, Dre, Redman, I'm sure there's a couple other artists, but those were the two that I noticed. But that's because, to be fair, that's my go-to. Like, my go-to is always Snoop, dude. I love Snoop. My other go-to is Redman and Method Man. And Busta Rhymes. I think those guys might be like my top 4. Because Busta Rhymes he just does everything. He works with everyone. Snoop is a fucking icon and impressive as fuck, okay? And Redman and Method Man feel like they could be my buddy. I mean, at least I would like to think that I would like to think that I could be their buddy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just get that super friendly vibe. And I get it from, like, I hate to brag, I hate to say this, but I met them at their Blackout tour after the show, briefly. Coolest fucking dudes, okay? When I was up at Up in Smoke, I also met Snoop and those guys, okay? They all seem chill as fuck. Like, anybody that I feel like I could just hang around with and, like, you don't feel pressure, that's how they make people feel. And in watching them in their interactions, like, that's how they make people feel. They make people feel welcome. And that's what you need. Like, rap now, I don't think makes you feel very welcome. I think it puts people on a pedestal. And I think it makes you think that, oh, you should be getting this or trying to get this. When realistically, getting that is like, you got to have some real serious fucking talent, dude. You got to also have some real serious fucking luck. Because this day and age, the hustle has totally changed. Like, you can't just bang down doors and present yourself and hope that somebody's like, fuck, I like that guy's gusto. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to, I don't know, you have to luck out that somebody's looking for you and finds you. I think there's a lot more of that nowadays. I think that the keyboard has also made it easier for people that really have no business being in some kind of entertainment. It makes it easier for them to be in entertainment, you know? And, like, some dude's like, oh, I can make money off that. I'll do that. That's great. I'm not trying to sound negative towards it. I'm just saying that I think that really is the case. It's good and it's bad, right? But what fucking Snoop Dogg and Redman did, Redman I can't say enough about. You really got to check out. I'm telling you, every fucking song is fire. The whole album, the skits, everything nails the fucking 90s as far as I'm concerned. They fucking nailed it, dude. Both of them. They brought back hip-hop. That's what I'm saying. Okay, that's enough dick riding. Those are my thoughts off the stem. I hope you enjoyed the sesh. I hope you come back next week and join me, Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead, on Thoughts Off the Stem. You can check out all the links to the episodes at tots420.com and subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to whatever you're listening to it on, because, like, honestly, I'm fun. At least I think I'm fun. I try to have fun. I try to, make you have fun, or help you have fun, or help you laugh, smile. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, check out tots420.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can get and check out the Sunday Strain Review playlist. That tells you all the stuff that we use on the or I use on the podcast. And hopefully it'll help you find your smile or your sleep. I don't know, whatever you're looking for. But yeah, hope you had a good time. Until next time. It always plugs up, dude. It's at the end. It normally doesn't plug up. I shouldn't say it always plugs up. It doesn't always plug up. It plugs up when it's at the end. There's, like, very little liquid left in here, so. When they're brand new, they're great. You know what? I'm switching it out, because that one is pretty well done. Let's do, for the last hit, we'll do the Box Hot Bubba Fruit. It's a sativa. It tastes like bubba gum. Anyway, thank you for sticking around this long. Until next time, keep your lids low, baby. This one's good too. Ooh, next session.